Welcome back everyone. So today I'm going to be discussing what appears to be a debate in the Trading212 community, and it's whether or not you own your shares on the platform. Now if you enjoy this type of content, then do hit the like button. The goal like that I'm setting this week is going to be 19, so 19 likes. For most of the previous videos, you lot have been killing it when it comes to meeting these goals, so thanks so much for doing that. Now before I jump into the heart of this video, I'll just provide you with an update. Feel free to use the timestamps and skip to the relevant parts. But as you can see, 14.24% is the all-time growth. In terms of the pies here, I'm manually funding them, so I have reminders just so that I fund these every month. And I don't fund every single pie, I just have certain ones that I was previously automatically investing monthly. But due to the 0.7% charge that is introduced once you hit over 2k, I decided to manually invest my funds. So I just deposit into this free funds area and I use the instant online banking, and then I allocate the given pie and fund accordingly. So in terms of the individual investments, there's only a few that are underperforming. So that's AstraZeneca. We have AT&T as well. We also have GSK. I actually suspect this stock will increase. It's low at the moment, but this stock definitely has a cyclical type of pattern. Just from the fundamentals as well, they're looking very promising. So if I just scroll down, they've been increasing their net income year on year. Even the results that we have for 2020, so within those 6 months, there was increases across the board. So I suspect in the near future, this will be green by a substantial amount. And then Intel has been struggling. With the amount that I'm funding, 0.4%, it's literally pennies and pounds, as you can see. With all the issues that they've had in the past year, growth has been stable from the previous year. So it's not as if I'm going to be selling out of my position. It's just whether or not their growth can increase in the future. So just have to wait and see on that. So that leads me on to the main part of this topic. Now, when I invest into these individual companies, or when I invest using the pie feature, the question that everyone has is who owns these underlying investments? So when I buy, for instance, Apple, or when it comes to UK companies such as the British Land Company, when I have these open positions, am I the person that has my name attached to these shares, or is it simply not the case? You have different opinions on the Trading212 community, and then also on the r/Trading212 within Reddit, there's different opinions there as well. Now, I would admit it's very difficult to get a solid answer from the Trading212 team, and that was especially true in the past. And so the only way to get to the true answer as close as possible is by asking a member of the team. Now, I first tried to get an answer just using the chat feature within the mobile app. The response I got just wasn't good enough. It wasn't clear with the questions that I had. And so instead I emailed support. Now I have a feeling that the support team, they have more time to think about the question that you provide and then give a more solid answer. And so the questions I had was covering the likes of FSCS. So what exactly is that covering with respect to the Trading212 platform? So I'll first cover that. And so with the FSCS, they cover your account up to £85,000. So what this means is that if I deposit funds into my account, so for instance, I've got £38 at the moment. If I deposit £85,000, that money there is held within a Barclays account, and that's referring to Barclays UK. So if I deposit into the free funds, that's just money held into Barclays. Now, something to call out, let's just say you have your own personal Barclays account. As an example, let's just say you have £100,000 within your personal account, and then you decide to send £85,000 into Trading212 within the free funds. That would then mean that in your personal Barclays account, you have £15,000 and then the 85 within the Trading212. So because they're both held in Barclays, if Trading212 no longer becomes a company, then you could contact FSCS and claim back that £85,000. Now, of course, Barclays is still operational, so your £15,000, you don't have to claim anything. That money still exists. But some of you are probably thinking, well, I don't even have £85,000 to invest in one of these. Then that's not something you need to worry about. But let's just change the examples that I'm providing. So let's just say Trading212 is going to go under. We have all these open positions in our account. What is going to happen then? Now, you may be thinking, well, I have ownership because I have these open orders on the likes of Apple, AT&T, etc. But what happens here is that Trading212, when they execute these orders, they take your free funds, they use that to send an order to the interactive brokers, and then when the order is executed, Trading212 holds the relationship with the interactive brokers. So it's Trading212's name that is on the account. And so if I was to ask the interactive brokers who owns 5.03 blah 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 shares, the interactive brokers cannot tell me that information. That's because on their records, they just have Trading212 as the owner, and they don't own 5.03 as I have. They own everyone's Apple shares. Now it's Trading212 who then provides the mapping. And so every day we get these announcements as a email, which tells us the records that we have. So how many shares in Apple, the value, etc. So internally, Trading212 tells each customer how much of a given stock they have. Now, in the event that Trading212 no longer functions, all they're going to do is sell out of all your open positions. So it doesn't matter if it's highly profitable or at a loss. If Trading212 is a company that no longer functions, then they have all this additional money held in their name with the interactive brokers. The only logical thing to happen here is to sell the shares that they own in their name. And so going back to FSCS, how are we covered exactly? So when our shares are sold out of our position, that money will be sent back into our free funds. And so now we have no more open positions. Our money is not connected to any stocks or shares. All the positions are closed out and the money is in our free funds. And so if your free funds at that point is under £85,000, you can contact FSCS if Trading212 does anything shady, and you'll be able to get that money back. Now, if you are over that £85,000, and as I said, including all these closed out positions, profit or not, if it's over the £85,000, then you are not covered by FSCS. Now, some of you may think I'm just making this at the top of my head just to have a video to talk about. This is the response that I received from Trading212. Now, I'm just blurring out the name of the individual from customer service, but the response is intact. I haven't changed a word. So just reading what they wrote, they state, "I would like to confirm that your money will be at Barclays UK in a segregated bank account. For your safety and in compliance with our regulations, all client funds are kept separately in segregated bank accounts and are covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme." So that's the FSCS. Now, in the event of default, the FSCS will provide you compensation up to £85,000. Each client will be compensated if one of our companies fails to comply with its obligations to the clients due to its financial state. Now, it refers to a thread in the community forum, so we'll check that out in a little bit, but just to continue reading, additionally, your shares will be sold at the last available price and you will be compensated with the value amount in your holdings. Now, just to read into that line a little bit more, and this is my own opinion, let's just say we have £100,000 within stocks and shares, they are sold, and we roughly have £100,000. If Trading212 was able to provide us with the exact amount, then we would receive all those funds, but when it comes down to the FSCS, we wouldn't be covered with the full amount. So a lot of these answers depends on the current state. Is it Trading212 who's at fault and they no longer have enough money? For instance, because Trading212 holds these shares, you could say to yourself, well, they have the money. When they sell out these positions, they have that exact amount in cash, but there could be other obligations that Trading212 has to pay out. Us as shareholders, and I'm using that as the loosest term, as a shareholder, but we wouldn't be the first people that get all that money. And generally speaking, it's up to us to contact the FSCS because we're basically just going to be covered up to the £85,000. Okay, so let's take a look at that thread now. So when it comes to the online forum, I just want to see responses that come from Trading212. So this user here is a member of the Trading212. So just summarizing the key bits here, how is Trading212 regulated? They are headquartered in the UK and they are regulated with the FCA. And so how are my funds protected? It's up to £85,000 by the FSCS. Very vague answer there. The response that I got covered in a lot more detail. Where is my equity? When you trade with Trading212, your equity is held in custody at Interactive Brokers. They are the biggest broker in the world by the number of daily trades. They hold 160 billion in client assets. And so that is a lot of money. That's a lot of zeros. And at the time of this recording, that's more money than the market cap of Bitcoin. So where is my cash? So your money is held in Barclays Bank in a segregated account, which basically means no one can touch it. So that's great. That agrees with the information that I was provided. So does the company have solid financials? Now, this was written in April 2020. They state that Trading212 has been profitable every single year since its founding 16 years ago. We have no debt. We have solid cash reserves. It's very cost effective for us to offer free share dealing because over the years, we've already invested a lot of infrastructure and platform development for our CFD businesses. Now, the one thing I would say there is their free share dealing service. They give you up to 20 free shares. I personally maxed those out ages ago. There's a link in the description. Feel free to grab your free share. I don't get anything in return. Per person, they'll probably give max £200 in free shares. So it's not a massive amount that they're providing for their customers, but still they are handing a portion of their cash to their customers. And then on the final point here, our existence does not depend on VC funding or crowdfunding. So that is valid. We have the likes of free trade that does depend on those 2 points there. But of course, free trade does have other measures to become a profitable business. We'll talk about free trade more in the future because there are some benefits over that of Trading212, which I'm personally going to be exploring more. If anyone has different opinions, then feel free to leave a response below. I'm only really interested if you've been given a different response from Trading212. Now, the final summary here is, well, if we don't own our underlying shares, what does this mean? Now, for me personally, it's somewhat frustrating that we don't own the underlying shares. In an ideal situation, if one broker goes under, then we should be able to transfer those funds to somebody else. For the average user, this isn't even going to be an option for us. So while I have an account value that is under the £85,000, I'm not too concerned. But of course, I am trying to grow this portfolio. The goal is definitely to be above and beyond that threshold. Doesn't mean that I'm going to look into other brokerage accounts. Well, potentially, but as of right now, there's not many rivals out there. And for the most part, Trading212 has a lot more benefits. But if there is a brokerage out there that does allow you to own the shares, I know for instance, Etoro, if you're not leveraging your positions, then you own the underlying asset. When it comes to free trade, I've been told that those shares you own in your name. But the response I got from free trade wasn't too exciting. I'm going to dig deeper there. Now, as I said, this is the response that I got. This is the only information that I can base my answers on. If you want to separately ask your own questions or if you have other types of questions, feel free to reach out to Trading212. Equally, send them in the comment thread below. I'm more than happy to send more questions out in the future and then I can cover those questions in a future video. Now, if you enjoy this type of content, then do hit that like button. For those new to the channel, do consider subscribing. New videos are out every week. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next one.